Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to the day 2 of the performance testing with K6 5-day challenge. So yesterday we were able to install K6 on Windows and Mac OS. We also proceeded to writing our first K6 script. So today we shall be going through the script explanation, the basics that was written yesterday. We'll go through the detailed explanation of all the import, function, and keyword. Then we'll also try to add virtual users and run tests with virtual users and duration. Also, we'll go through options config. Then lastly, we finalize by checking checks and responses. So let's get started. So this is a sample of what was written yesterday. So the first script, import HTTP from K6 HTTP. So by this, we are instructing K6 to make use of HTTP verbs. We are familiar with the common HTTP verbs used in Postman today. We have get, post, put, patch, and delete. So by importing HTTP from K6, we are instructing K6 to make use of this HTTP verbs. There are times we might like to conduct load test or performance test on a get request, put request, patch, or a delete request. Then the second part is import sleep from K6. So we are trying to import a weight which is called sleep from K6. So basically what sleep does is to get user to pause for some minutes before carrying out the next action. By simulating users, we want to make sure that it's close to real life, real time, and real life behavior. So we want to make sure that we don't overload the server. So we want to make it natural. So the reason for introducing sleep. Then the next one is a function which is called uh, export default function. So HTTP dot get this URL. What we're doing is we are sending a get request. We're making use of the get request that was imported from K6 HTTP. So we are instructing an action to get resource from this particular URL, https test.k6io. Then sleep, as earlier mentioned. So after going through the first block, after importing from the first block and going through the second block of the code, we take a pause of 1 second before proceeding with the next action. Typically, when several users are interacting with the application, they don't just do it at the same time. If we want to model real life scenario, we understand that user A might send a request. Some seconds to that, user B might initiate the next request. Not necessarily all 5 users are executing the action, the same action concurrently. So towards the course of this challenge, you'll still go through ramp up. we understand what ramp up means. Then the last block of the code is just to export the data that has been stored in this parameter data and to save it in an HTML report. So let's just go ahead to our code. I'll go to K6. I'll go to VS Code now. So let's just clear this export data in order to concentrate on the basis. We'll continually build up this code, but let's just take off the HTML report so we can build up from the basics. All right, we have our block of code. So let's check our agenda. So when a request is being sent by a virtual user, uh, four things are being captured. The first thing that you look out for as a QA engineer is the response time that is measured. So cases captures how long each request takes to when the response is received. So you have to take note of the response time. Then another one is the status code that is captured, be 200, 401, 500, whenever you send your request. Then the third one is errors captured. We could have failed request and timeout. So at some point, when you vary your load, you start getting timeout. So that means if this load is exceeded, the server starts timing out. So what is expected is to speak with the infrastructure team to scale up the server and the infrastructure so that more users can get to execute diverse action seamlessly on the application without any failures. So the last one is sleep. So we have to add sleep to make our test load natural. So we don't want to load our server with unrealistic traffic spike. Then let's proceed. So there are two ways for you to load your server with user and to include duration. We can see the script here, K6 run scripts, first K6 script JS. So dash virtual user. So for this test, we are going to carry out tests by loading the server with two users within the duration of, then we could also increase it to 5. We could increase it to any users of your choice. So in situation where you just run this script without specifying the number of users, that means you are trying to run the test for only one user. So by default, when the virtual users are not specified, the test runs the test in one iteration and carry out the load test for only one user. So let's try something out by going to terminal. You go to your terminal, create new terminal. Then I'm going to copy that script. So case 6 run scripts. Okay, remember we got the directory where script is. So you go to the first script, then you copy the relative path. Then you add 5 virtual users in 10 seconds. So let's enter. Just a minute. Okay. So we can see the test has been completed. So this means 2 virtual users start the test. They call this URL. Then they wait for 1 second and repeat this block of code until the duration is 10 seconds. So simply put, this is what is being carried out. We can see the result of the tests. We have average 205.26 millisecond. Then we have the minimum time that was used, the medium, the maximum. Then P90 means 90% of the actions were completed in 229.95 milliseconds, and 95% was completed in 404.6 milliseconds. So let's just talk about typical oversight. So there are some common mistakes that are made by beginners in performance testing. The first one is most try to remove sleep. So ensure that you always include sleep in your test. This is because you don't want to load the server with an unrealistic load. You want to make the test natural as possible. Then the thinking that this block of code runs only once. It doesn't run only once. It runs continually for about the time that was specified in the duration. For this test, we are running 5 virtual users for 10 seconds. That means 5 users continually and repeatedly access the server until 10 seconds is reached. So let's just move on to the next slide. So now what we'll be doing is for us to add virtual users and duration right inside our code. So what we did initially is to add it to our CLI. We add it through command prompt, but now we are going to add it in our block of code with the help of options. So we are going to be using options in order to achieve that. So we're going to be adding load configuration in our script. So that means we are adding a specified number of virtual users and we are specifying duration. So let's just go ahead to our block of code in order to do that. So I'll go right into it. So export const options. So let's open and close the curly brace. Just a minute. Options equal curly brace, enter. So you can see Copilot is also suggesting that to me. Virtual users is 3. Let's use 5. Okay, it has auto-completed that. Let's use 5 in 10 seconds. Sorry, 10 seconds. So options is a reserved word in case 6. Reserved words are words that cannot be assigned as variables. In other words, they are reserved words. So you can see the way it's beautified. It means it's a reserved word. So let's just run the tests. I'm going to delete the virtual user that was initially added because we've added this to our block of code. I'm going to run the code. You can see 5 looping virtual users gracefully. So you can see the results of our test. So like I mentioned yesterday, you could copy this into your chatbot, your ChatGPT or Claude to get a detailed explanation of this metrics. So moving on, so let's go to the next. So the next item is to run checks and assertions. So we are going to be doing that by declaring another block of code. So we are going to call it response. Yeah, let's go to our block of code. And just a minute, I'm going to push this away so that we can concentrate on the code. So what we're going to be doing now is we are going to be importing check. So check is for assertion. So let me just copy this. So you could import check like this. You import check from K6. So check works like assertions. It validates if an entity from the response code is as expected. It checks if there's a failure in the response code. So when you run assertions called checks, it doesn't stop your test execution. It only marks your test as failed and it proceeds with the rest of the test. So you could import check assertion in this way, or another way is to just put it beside sleep and write and enter check. So this line of code will be deleted. Then what's next we'll be doing is we'll be saving this our get method. We'll be saving it inside a variable called response. Then we'll declare it as a constant because it won't change. We'll declare it as a constant. So yeah, we have done that. Then we'll go ahead and write a check assertion. So check response, comma, you open curly brackets. Then this is the name of the test we are trying to assert. So we want to check if status is 200. Then this R means response equal response dot, the R means response dot status equal 200. So we are trying to run a check on this value to see if the status that was returned in the response code is 200. So while we are using triple equality sign, it means it must be exact. In this case, we are not comparing. We want the response status to be exactly 200. Then we'll go ahead and enter sleep for 1 second. So we're going to be running our code shortly. So let's go ahead and run our code. So you can see 5 looping virtual users for 10 seconds gracefully. All right. We can see our total results here. Checks total is 29. Checks succeeded 100. Checks failed. You can see our assertion here. Status is 200. We can see that that is correct. So if we want to make the test fail, let's just change this to 400 and run the test again. Definitely, our test is expected to fail. Mm, our test did not fail. Just a minute. I need to save. What to say? I need to look into this. Status code is 401. So by tomorrow, we'll be looking at two other things. We'll be looking at threshold, how to set threshold, how to set stages, and how to create scenarios for advanced load profiles. Then we'll also look at K6 built-in metrics deep drive. So that would be all for day 2 of our performance testing using K6. I would like you all to follow our channels on YouTube with the handle Quality Techies. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, like, comment, and feel free to drop your milestone on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and tag me, tag Quality Techies as a group, and let everyone in your ecosystem uh, learn about your achievements this week. Please do have a great night's rest. I'll be expecting your post on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and your WhatsApp status. Thank you. Bye.